I'm going to ask you the experience of the workshop. The first thing we'll do is, could you just say your name and the name of your company?
Fred Robinson, Waterdog Computer Works.
Great. Thanks, Fred. So can
Sure.
you tell me what your experience was like during the $1 Million MSP workshop?
I would say overall it was an excellent experience. I'll be honest, due to the pricing of the workshop and the way in which I was approached by you, it's not a negative thing. I wasn't sure what to expect. Whenever I get cold called by anybody, my antennas go up thinking, is this a scam? Am I going to get anything out of it? Is it too good to be true? And I thought to myself, you know what, for $50, what do I have to lose? And that's basically how I went into it. I thought I had nothing to lose. I thought if he delivers in 10% of what he's telling us in the literature, then it's a win-win for me. And I took the gamble, and I'm glad I did. It was a good experience. You're a great speaker. You have a lot of knowledge to give us all. And I've been around a long time, but I'm new to sales. And your insights and the way you presented it made it very easy to understand, even to an old dog like myself, frankly.
I'm glad to hear it. How did you feel about the 7 steps that I presented for scaling an MSP?
As I look back at all the steps and I think about the way I run the operation, there were some things I was already doing. But I think what I found valuable is that it allowed me to take the steps that I'm not doing properly and improve upon those steps internally. You know, a good example of that would be delegating roles and responsibilities. I'm the owner. I started out as a technician 20 years ago, and until recently, I was still dabbling on technical work. So, I took out of, your course, one of the main things was to delegate, and I've done that beautifully since then. I no longer do tech work. It is, a cold day in hell that Fred's on a tech support call.
That's a dynamite answer.
I hope so.
And it's so encouraging. You spent 4.5 hours with me. But then after that, you implemented the change that I told you to do in your sales process. And you're telling me that since then, your sales have improved.
Oh, without doubt. I mean, I just landed a pretty big contract of almost $2,500 a month MRR, purely because of what you had told me during the session. I went, the first qualification meeting that we had with them on site, I just sat there and listened. There was a guy, half my age, tell me what's going on. I just kept asking questions. He kept on talking. I let him talk as much as he wanted. And I was able to gather from him exactly what it was their pain points were. There was about 6 of them. I found out exactly why they were leaving their current providers. By the way, there's 3 different providers we replaced with us. And not only did I get the information about the 3 providers, but I got his monthly bills from those 3 providers. So I knew exactly what I had to bid against or compete against. His big concern was he getting the value for the dollar? And secondly, was he paying too much for what he was getting? And thirdly, he needed, because of finances, to reduce his monthly spend. And I answered all 3 of those questions with our quote. We finally had a sales meeting with the owner. I brought in my other lead engineer with me for support because I felt like in prior meetings with our clients, it was fine to have me there, but to have someone who's actually going to be supporting their account, to be there as an adjunct to what I was telling them, allowed me to tell our story about Waterdog. Because one of the key things you told us in the sessions was selling is about telling a story.
And you got the incumbent provider's bills all just handed to you because of the way that I taught you to do a discovery call.
Yep. That's the first time in 20 years that I've actually walked out of a discovery call on site with a client with those bills in hand. Usually I have to request it after the fact. But this guy was so pumped up to give it to me. He's like, here, let me get it for you. So yeah, I think it definitely, I wouldn't have gotten that before. That was a first.
Wow. That's awesome. Okay. Thank you so much. It means a lot. And what's great about it is a lot of people follow me on LinkedIn, and I look like I'm 12, first of all. And so a lot of people don't know how to tell whether I know what I'm talking about or not. And so to hear an MSP owner who's been in the business for 20 years talk about immediate tangible results from a 3-day workshop. hopefully that'll help point people in the right direction.
Well, it's been helping me. I have no complaints. And I'm just looking forward to when I've got the time to take the follow-on course.
Hmm.
And I think that's definitely going to be sometime later this summer. Then I can focus on the next step, which is to take the secondary course.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Thanks a bunch, Fred.